What's good, everybody? We are back. It is your boy Jarod and your girl Gabby, episode 89 of the Kicks and Shit Show. Yeah, I see. I'm.
We're not doing it anymore.
No. See, no, 'cause I'm gonna do it one time. You're gonna be like, damn.
Said that, you guys. He's gonna do it. Episode 90. That's what's gonna
See,
happen.
that's what you think. You think it's gonna be 90, so now you know I'm not gonna do it on 90, or am I gonna do it on 90?
I'm gonna say that every time, so you never do it again. How about that? Respectfully.
Are you trying to say that you don't like when I do the? Is that what you're saying? Wow, that silence is speaking volumes. That silence is speaking volumes, folks.
You. It shouldn't matter what I think. It's never stopped you.
You damn right it's never stopped you before. You are 100% right about that. Anyway, how are you? Where in the world are you today?
Well, Jarod, I'm in Jersey, but it's been an interesting week because return to office is starting to happen. Which I don't know if I am ready for this. I don't know, my team is like super fun, but there's like a different level. And I feel bad for everyone who is not on my team, who was also in the office with us this past couple of days. We had a lot of our leads that came out from the West Coast. So it was really fun meeting people IRL. And then I feel like when you work in PR and social media and branding, like ain't nobody's boring. So it's like, it feels like a family reunion. It's like the first day of school. Everybody's here. Everyone's excited. We all forget that we need sleep to be restful, functioning, productive humans. One of the girls on our team was like, I am purposely not going because I am twice as productive when I'm not around all of y'all. And I was like, I think they're onto something. But yeah, I don't know. This is how I know that return to office is messing people up, because Jay just went on mute for that and I heard none of what he said. Microphone is off.
Oh my God, I was on mute. What the?
For watching, I hope you got to see the face.
What the hell happened?
But yeah, I was like, I'm gonna try to let you finish. Assumed it was mine, but nope.
I don't even know how the mute happened. But what I was saying was, it's that wild thing, right? Where like you get together with people and you're like, there's a reason why we don't get together, because we don't get no damn work done out here. So you know.
Well, and it's nice to have the FaceTime, and I'm sure like the novelty will wear off a little bit if you're there all the time. But like the one piece for me is I don't miss that commute, man. Like, that's different, right? Like I like during the pandemic when I could drive in the city, I could get to where I was going. I had dinner plans last night, and I drove in, got a spot 20 minutes into the city, a spot a block from the restaurant.
Which you winning at life.
What a beautiful time. But during rush hour?
Hell no.
Nope.
Well, the other thing about back to commuting and back to the office is not that it's never on point, but now you got to be concerned about your sneaker game, right? It's like, all right, like, am I rocking kicks to the office this week, or we have a client coming in and I'm wearing heels because we're going to a thing, or like what, you know what I'm saying?
Perks of working in sneakers is that I will always be wearing in the office. I get more stressed out about having to wear like real pants and outfits. Like I just want a cute work top, but like I'm a curvy girl, so like if it's a little bit short, I can just throw it on with a pair of bike shorts at home. I don't have to worry about a full outfit. Like I'm gonna keep it 100 with y'all. Like that's it. From like the ribs up, as long as I look good, we're good. But I don't know. It's a very weird time, and I think I really appreciated the FaceTime with everybody. But I am glad to be going to bed at a reasonable hour, and you know that is I never say.
You never say that. Yeah, it's more of my jam. So I know that you wanted to touch on a little sneaker news in the biz. Joe Fresh, right? Some New Balance talk. What you got for us?
Yeah, I mean, I think New Balance has been we've talked about this a bunch, that New Balance is a brand to watch, right? Like Joe Fresh Goods has done a great job of like really changing the conversation when it comes to sneaker silhouettes, to unique fabrics, colors, all kinds of stuff like that. So to hear the announcement of him collaborating more with New Balance, and having more of a creative role is really exciting. I think, watching his story over the years and the come up has been really cool to see. And I feel like New Balance historically is like, they used to collab with like J. Crew. So this shift is like really dope.
Yeah. No, not the J. Crew, by the way, but
no, it's a different vibe. Yeah, and there's nothing against J. Crew if you like what you like, you know what I'm saying? But like, I went to private school, and I equate like a lot of the, the 997s with some prep school kids that I grew up with, and that, the gray on gray, you know exactly what silhouette.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
The ox blood wine, whatever version of that you want to talk about. So it's nice to see, and I'm really curious to see what he does. I mean, I think there's a lot of cool stuff that's going to be coming out, like the Gucci
Yeah.
Adidas collab. Like
Yeah.
that's going to be super cool and different. Jerry Lorenzo's going to be dropping his stuff soon for Adidas as well.
Yeah, we've been talking about that for a while. Yeah.
Yeah, and then I think a lot of the union collabs are starting to come out. The Dunk, the Twos, all these Twos
All
collabs.
the two collabs. Yeah.
Which I mean, I'm gonna take a nod from our guest that we have coming up in a little bit. That's not my bag. I'm gonna keep it a buck with you. But I don't know. It's a very interesting time for sneakers right now, and I love me some Jordan 1s. I will always love me some
Of
1s,
course.
4s, the classics, but I'm really excited about this new wave as well.
Yeah, I'm with you. The Joe Fresh New Balance collabs that have already come out are really nice. Like those are some great silhouettes, like some really cool designs. And it's again, look, we love Nike and Jordan Brand, and that's never gonna change. But it's so nice to be able to see like some of the other collabs and different shoes, and you're like, oh, you know what? These are fresh, right? And so we like those brands pushing the envelope and saying, hey, we want to work with Joe Fresh. We want to work with Amy Leon Dore. We want to work with, this designer. So, I'm looking forward to see what non-Nike and Jordan brand sneaker companies, what kind of collaborations are going to have coming out this year. Because I think that's something to always keep an eye on.
Yeah, and I think like we talk a lot about like authenticity and inclusivity, right? And I think that these all these other brands that are not the Nikes and Jordans, like they are adding to making sneakers more inclusive, which some might argue like now they're too cool, you can't get them, which I'm one of those people who argues that. But I do like that there's now kind of something for everyone. And I think, Reebok with Cardi B's collab now in a more extended range of sizes, which for me, like as a tall, curvy girl, sometimes it's hard to find fire fits that are made specifically for women. We're in Women's History Month. So like I love seeing that the tides are changing in that sense as well. It's not just about the sneakers, but it's about the full fit, right? So
Absolutely.
inclusivity is the whole vibe.
Shouts to the ladies. All right, folks, stay tuned because coming up next, we have a special guest who will talk to you about, how she uses Twitter and social to really make a name for herself and get out here in this sneaker game. If you want to know about Twitter Spaces, and how to use that, this is the person to listen to. So we can't wait for you guys to check it out. So stay tuned. What's good, y'all? We are back. Gabby, we're not alone. We are joined by the host of Sneaker Hunting on Soul Collector, JerLisa Nicole. How are you?
Hey, I'm pretty good. How are you guys?
We are good. Thank you for joining us. And you are joining us from the great state of Texas, from Dallas, the Big D, but you are not from Dallas. So where are you from?
So I'm actually from Shreveport, Louisiana, but I grew up between Louisiana and California. So I have like a lot of like California swag and stuff. And out here, people are always like, oh, you're the Cali girl. And I'm like, excuse me, home is right there. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm Louisiana, baby.
So you, okay. First of all, Louisiana, New Orleans is one of my favorite cities. Culinary wise, food is just out of control. It is like, it is one of my top 5 culinary destinations in the world. And I'm talking, and I've been to Rome and Florence and all these other amazing food, Paris, amazing food places. New Orleans is up there, man. I'm telling you, the food is excellent.
Yeah, I tell people all the time, like if you're not from Louisiana or you don't have people from there, there's certain foods that I don't even want to talk to you about. You can't even think about cooking it with me. I don't care.
She's not opening up to conversation. So it's interesting. All right. So you're a Louisiana girl, Shreveport. You spent time in Cali. Where in Cali?
Stockton.
Okay. So the vibe is different from Louisiana to California, right? So I imagine as a kid growing up, your gear, your style of speech, your slang, it was a whole thing. So let's begin at the beginning. When did you fall in love with sneakers?
I fell in love with sneakers in '96. So I was 4, 5 years old, somewhere around, something like that. I don't know. But when the Taxi 12 dropped, that's like the first time I remember loving a shoe for myself. So I'm a baby. Well, I'm a grown woman, but I'm a baby sneakerhead. Like I've been a sneakerhead since a lot of people are like, well, I was in middle school when these came out. And I'm like, well, I was like 4, but so yeah,
You gotta start
my
young.
whole life. Right.
So when you were going back and forth, I'm sure you saw different styles, right? Again, Shreveport to Stockton to so. What was that process like for you in terms of, as you were getting into sneakers and you were sort of back and forth between these areas that are just very different in terms of how you put on what you put on, and as you know, what you put on says stuff about you, right? So how was that whole thing like?
Yeah. Um, in hindsight, I think it definitely taught me how to like be an innovator style wise because what they're wearing in California, they definitely didn't care about in Shreveport. And then I'd go be in Shreveport, and I'm very like Southern, although it doesn't sound like it, but I'm very Southern. So I would go home, get stuff from my cousins, get the style, and go back to California. And they're like. But for me, it was like this is home, like this is who I am. So one area is gonna have to accept it, and it kind of meshed into like its own thing. So like I have a personal vendetta against Crocs. It's not even Crocs, it's the Croc audience. But I remember I was 14 and in Shreveport, everybody was wearing Crocs. They went from Birkenstocks to Crocs, and that was like in the hood. And they were calling them Birkenstocks were potato shoes, and Crocs were like the nurse and doctor shoes, but they were just comfortable. So that was the vibe. I went out there, all my cousins had a pair of Crocs on, and I was like what? Like I need a pair. And I was 14 in like 06, 07 or something like that. And so I think I had a navy blue pair and a black pair. They were knockoff because at that time Croc was like you couldn't really get it just like that. Like it didn't have big stores. And I wore those shoes literally to death. And I remember coming back to California, going to high school, and they were like, "You can't be serious." And I was like, "Oh, I'm serious." Like I got roasted so bad. And I'm a very funny person. Like, it takes a lot to knock me off my rocker when it comes to jokes. I got roasted to the point that this whole resurgence of Crocs, I refuse. I refuse to buy them. I'm not buying them. I'm not wearing them. I don't care. And when people wear them, I'm like, ugh. Like I remember being in the trenches by myself in Crocs, and now the whole world is like, these are fly. So yeah, I think I like to think of myself as like the originator of a lot of things, even though that might not be the truth. But for me, it is. So I started this Crocs craze in 07.
Have like a list of people that you were like, I remember when you made fun of me for my Crocs, and you're like, and now they're rocking them.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. All of my, because I was the only girl like in sneakers and stuff, and so all my best friends are like, yeah, I got the little giblets, and I'm like, yeah, like I don't care about your giblets. You didn't have them in high school when you guys they didn't have Jordans and stuff, and they were like sneaker bums, and they had the nerve to make fun, and now they want to talk to me about bedazzled Crocs. I hate it.
I love that you call them giblets for starters because I call them that too. They are not called giblets, but I love everything about it. And I also I just gotta get it trending that Birkenstocks are potato shoes. That is the first time I have heard that. And then you are roasting people. I am here for the puns.
But Gabby, did you wear Birkenstocks in growing up in Mendham? I bet you had a pair of Birkenstocks. You had to.
I think I had a pair, but like the buckles for me, I'm just like, I don't know. Nah. I feel like I had them because everybody had them when I was in like 5th or 6th grade, but it like wasn't what I was rocking all the time. I mean, you know me, I don't think I fit into really where I grew up. I love when Jarod says like, "Oh, in Mendham." I grew up on like down the block from a horse farm and whatnot, like with the tennis court in our backyard. Like I'm gonna keep it 100, but I was wearing soccer clothes and basketball shorts. My first tennis skirt that I wore in college is made out of basketball shorts. So like. That was my vibe. So
she's a little different. She's a little different. I will say this. You got some PTSD though with those Crocs. That's what it is. This is like, it's a traumatic event. I see it in your face. You're just like, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
It runs deep.
No, I was old when I found out they're not called giblets. So that's how yeah, no. My best friend made a pair for my god sister, and she's like, "Aren't these cute? They have like all the bells and whistles." And I was just like, I don't know what you want me to say about this shoe because I can't be paid to care. Like I don't know. No offense to Crocs the brand. Like let me say that. They're a great brand. They were amazing when I had them. It's just like you said, there's PTSD. I can't do it. I can't. The kids beat me good.
The kids beat me good.
Oh man. So okay. So moving on from your journey with California, because I always get Cali vibes from you. So I like that path. How did you end up in Texas?
I People say that all the time. They're like, "You're so California," but like in my soul, like in my spirit, I'm very Southern, and California just wasn't Southern enough for me. Like I like walking through the grocery store and seeing, and it doesn't have to even be elders, but just being like, "Hey, how y'all doing? Like, good morning, good afternoon." You need some, just the Southern hospitality. You don't get that in California, and I felt very, like, regular, if that makes sense. Like, I was just very amongst the crowd out there, and I wanted to be home. Like, my hometown is 2.5 hours away from Dallas, so I'm close enough to be home without, like, my not so favorite cousins being like, "Hey, I'm coming over today." You can't. You have to travel 2.5 hours. It's okay. You have to, like, plan this and give me a heads up, but also if they call me, I could be like, "Yeah, I'll be there this weekend." So, it's like a balance, and Dallas is still a major hub without being too crazy. It's,
Hmm.
it's up and coming. I think I found my home randomly, but yeah.
It's interesting because, again, going back to Shreveport being so different from California. I mean, not only that, as you know about California, because I used to live out there, I used to live in the Bay Area. California is different, right? Like Stockton is way up north. It's
Mhm.
way different than Southern California, right? And LA and that
Yeah,
vibe. And,
yeah.
and Stockton's even different from, because that's by Sacramento, than San Francisco, right? It's just and Oakland, it's so interesting how regionally, right? Even within a state, you're like, oh, no, it's straight.
Mhm.
Nah, it's different. I bet it's the same in New Orleans, right? Shreveport and New Orleans, right? It's got it. No, we got different
Oh,
vibes
yeah.
here.
Yeah, and it's even the same with Dallas and Houston.
Hmm.
Like I
Oh,
tell
so
people all the
different.
time because Houston's a major sneaker hub right now. And I'm like, come up. Like we're 3 hours above Houston. I'm just like, you guys have to come up the road because they're not the sister cities that a lot of people think that they are. They're very close, and yeah, there's like some, but even the food is different. Actually, I was gonna say there's similar food, but even the food is different because one is a more southern city and one is a more northern southern city. So there's miles of differences just in general. I think Houston's a little faster.
Hmm.
Houston's a little like Vegas and Atlanta and kind of like that, whereas Dallas is more of like a Chicago or like like it's
Mm.
fast, but it's
Mm.
also very cultured. It's very hometown heroes type
Okay.
feel out here.
Okay. I
I
like
like
that.
that. I feel like as someone who grew up in New Jersey and lived in like the New York area pretty much my whole life, I always thought the opposite, right? Where to me, Houston always felt more Texas and Dallas was like this like more metropolitan, cosmopolitan city. And it's not that it's not
Mhm.
that way, but I like that you call it the nuances of Texas, right? It's like even Southern California, that's not the South. So if you
No.
have Southern vibe,
Right.
you're not gonna find that in LA. Like
No. Or I
it's
mean,
not
LA and
that.
San Diego are different, right? It's like that's just two different worlds. It's
Yeah, very much so.
Yeah.
But
And I mean, California will ask you to split the state. Like NorCal and SoCal low key have this state rivalry.
they
It
do.
makes no sense. Yeah, they do.
Major beef.
Yeah. And it's wild. And Houston and Dallas has their own little like, no, come to Houston, come to Dallas. But at the end of the day, it's like we're Texas. Like, come to Texas. We don't care. So yeah.
I know you talked a little bit about just the sneaker personalities and like how Houston's kind of on the come up. That I feel like people don't really know how much sneaker culture is in Houston. But what are the differences from a sneaker perspective between Dallas and Houston?
The main difference is that they don't know that like uh, let me talk to the camera. Do you guys know that we're in Dallas? Like that I think is the main difference. Everything goes to Houston, whether it's new stores, whether it's activations, pop-ups, and whatever. Like that's legit it. That's as far as sneakers goes. They just don't pay attention to Dallas as much. And if they do, it's like, hey, we know sneaker politics is out there. And it's like, yes, they're here, but or what's Ezekiel Elliott and them doing with sneakers, which is cool, but that's the biggest thing. Visibility needs to come to Dallas.
Mm.
Nike in North Park, Dallas is a beautiful store. There's like a whole beautiful outside patio right when you walk outside of it. There should be events and stuff there in Dallas. There's 5 or 6 sneaker boutique stores that should have events and stuff like that. Whereas when you think of sneakers and you think of Texas, you automatically think of Houston. They have social status. They have
Hmm.
Armand Marnier. They have
Hmm.
Her Girls, they have different brands. C&K Daily is based out
Yep, in
of Dallas as
Houston.
well.
Shout out to our girl, Channing Beamer.
I was like Cassidy's in
Yeah.
Houston, right?
Cassidy's in
Dallas,
Houston,
Cassidy's
Channing's in Dallas.
Mm.
Yeah, and I guess a lot of people don't understand, like, there's stuff here, like, we shouldn't have to travel to Houston to also get our stuff there. So that's the biggest difference, is that I don't think, for whatever reason, that the sneakerheads and the sneaker community in Dallas are seeing.
So no, again, the regional and the interstate breakdown, right, is crazy. So I mean, we're gonna get to you being the host of Sneaker Hunting on Soul Collector, but how did you then transition from, all right, I like sneakers, into, how am I gonna figure out how to do this for a career and make a living out of this, right? So how did that journey happen?
Yeah. I like Twitter. I get on Twitter and I just like kind of forget that other people are also watching what I'm saying on Twitter. So a lot of it started with me like seeing like sneaker blogs, and the shoes would drop and I'd be like, that's trash. Like that's ugly. I'm not buying it. Moving on. Or like, this is fire. Everybody needs to buy it. And if you don't buy it, you're crazy. And a lot of people, I guess, resonate with that. And I didn't realize it until one day I looked up and I'm like, there's like 35 people telling me like, yes, I agree. I want to buy this. Or like, you know what I mean? So that's kind of how I started getting my face out there, is really just talking and being like, look, I like shoes. I don't care who made the shoe. I don't care who designed it. It's either good or it's not. And yeah, like brands started resonating with that. Some sneaker designers would be like, hey girl, like I made that, but like, let me just ask you. And so there's times when I've been like, hey, okay, there's a shoe coming out and somebody that I really care about and I'm really cool with made it. So I'm gonna hold my opinion, but I'm gonna just let y'all know it's not it. Like, so I'm at a point now where I kind of have to even it out, but that's really just it. I was on Instagram trying to get my pictures off, like hashtag sneakers kick check and all this other stuff, and it wasn't hitting the way that I wanted to. And so I just got on Twitter and was just talking, and that seems to work for me. Talking seems to be my thing.
So you got on Twitter and got just reckless out here. You was just, and people were catching strays.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, actually, a lot of that's crazy, but a lot of relationships were built on people being like, hey, like, that tweet that you put out about me? And I'm like, you? Like, who are you? What do you mean about you? Or what? And they're like, yeah, I actually work for Jordan Brand. Like, oh,
You're
okay,
like,
well,
oops,
sure.
my bad.
Or, right. I mean, I don't say anything super harmful. Like, I'm not like, you're a terrible person because you chose this color. It's like, no, it just, some stuff is just bad. Like some designs just suck, especially as a woman in sneakers. I have a little foot too. I wear a size 6. Some stuff just sucks, or some stuff we're not able to get. And
a lot
for me as a regular person, yeah, definitely. And as a regular person, it's like, I just didn't care anymore. My influencer stuff wasn't getting off on Instagram. So like, okay, I'm going to talk my shit. Like, I don't like your shoe and there's nothing you can do about it because I still have to pay my bill. Like, you know what I mean? And
Right.
that just kind of jumped off. Different people were like, hey, like, I respect what you said. And I did have the moments of like, let's tweak this. Like, let's say it a little bit different so you're not pissing people off. But yeah, it grew from people respecting my opinion, I guess.
So you were authentic out there. You grew a following, right? And the brands and different designers started talking to you, right? So what's the next step after that?
After that, I was on the Kickback. So it's a sneaker. The community is Soul Food. I keep wanting to say a sneaker community. Soul Food was a sneaker community, but the Kickback is Spaces, Twitter Spaces. So it's like Clubhouse, but for Twitter. And low key better, but it's another story. But Twitter Spaces with a couple of dope sneakerheads. You have Jazray Allen Lord, Talks with TJ was on there, Sneaker Fetish, and
all our
a couple
friends.
of other people. And yeah, so I've since ventured off and kind of let them do their own thing. But that definitely was the next step. Like being on there once a week with them every Friday, chatting it up, talking about it is definitely helped, get some other people in my inbox or have some other people listening to me and stuff like that. And I also have a sneaker cleaning business. So I clean and restore shoes. So throughout all of this, it's like hey, like I talk shit, but I also know like stuff, and people would come and ask me how to care for their sneakers. And a member of the complex team tweeted and was like, "Hey, do you guys know any? Did they ask for women? I think they asked for. They either asked for women specifically or Black people specifically that clean it. No, it had to have been women because I wouldn't have responded if it was Black people. Yeah, that sounds wild, but like, if I would have seen somebody tweet like, "Hey, are there any Black people that clean shoes?" I'd have been like, "Nah, bro, like, something's fishy here." But I think it was
Who took over
definitely like,
Complex's Twitter?
Hilarious.
like what are you trying to say right now? But whatever. But no, it was like any women that are sneaker restorers, I think. And I was like, I am, but they were looking for New York, and I'm like, I don't live in New York, but like, if y'all ever decide to come to Dallas, I got you. And that's one thing I've always stood on. Like, I live in the South, you have to come to the South. I'll travel, but I'm not moving.
I like it.
And so it was like, hey, like, yeah, we need you, or we like you, but we need somebody in New York. And I guess their mentions were flooded because by the end of the night, they were like, a lot of people like really like you. And I was just like, hey, like, thanks, but I live in Dallas.
Right.
And so about 3 weeks later, Soul Collector put out a tweet and was just like, we're looking for fresh faces. We have new programs going on. If this is you, apply. And I saw it and I was like, at first, I swear to God, I was like this close to not doing it. Part of me was just like, my journey is going to be my journey. They'll come find me. It'll be whatever it is. And I think God humbled the Kanye in me a little bit and was like, they gonna find you, but like, you gotta, you gotta tell them where you at too. So I applied and I told everybody else to apply because I'm big on like, there's several of us out here, I'm tired of seeing the same faces and I don't want my face to be one that people are tired of either. So did it for myself, tweeted it out, texted to some friends, and next thing you know, it just all, well, it wasn't even, honestly, let me not lie, it wasn't the next thing you know. Other people got hit back first. Like, my friends were hitting me like, I got an email back, I got a hit back, and I was just like, I'm eating ice cream. Like, have fun, guys.
Eating ice cream.
Don't know what to tell you. Right. Like, I don't have nothing, but you guys enjoy. And they hit me like, hey, by the end of tonight, can you send us a video however long? And yeah, it went from there. So it was kind of like in my mind, I don't know if it's the truth, but in my mind, like they slept and at the last minute was like, let's go back and let's check one more time. And then that's how it went through. So
that's where that night of deadline came from. I like that.
Right. Like, because night of, I'm like, no, I know my partner got a text yesterday, but like, okay, whatever. I'll get it done tonight.
I like that though. And I think there's really something about like putting yourself out there, right? And being authentic. I know we talk about that a lot. I mean, you guys know I have very strong opinions about certain things, certain basketball players, and you like what you like. That's what makes you you. And I feel like shooting your shot like that, it's like you might find like the man of your dreams, but he's not going to break into your apartment to find you, even if he's out there. So I like that you're putting.
And I mean, if he is breaking into your apartment, probably not the man of your dream. Just going to put that out there. We don't want any breaking and entering happening. Probably not a good look.
I mean, you never know, drug people meet in crazy places. So
I was going to say, we don't kink shame, so,
Yeah. Absolutely. But I love that though. And I think, the thing that I love about Twitter is, and you hit the nail on the head with this earlier, is that Twitter, you feel like you can access anyone. That's what differentiates it from any other social platform, that you have access to everyone and everyone has access to you. It's like the real human behind that. And I like that you talk a lot about Twitter Spaces. For those who are listening that don't know much about that, or maybe you're on the Clubhouse bandwagon, I feel like the Twitter community in sneakers has grown immensely since the pandemic. Talk more a little bit about that, and just, for those who don't really know so much, a little bit more about Spaces and kind of what that looks like.
Yeah. I mean, the easiest way to put it is like, it's literally like Clubhouse. I remember when Clubhouse came out and it was super official, official would be the word, and you had to have an invite to get in, and there were only like 3 invites per person. And I was in a room in the beginning and they were like, other websites are going to see this and they're going to get on this. And someone from Twitter was in there and they were like, actually, like, we've been building this out for a couple of years. We're just waiting. And so when Twitter Spaces hit, because I like a little bit of mess, a little bit of drama. So when Spaces hit, I was like, oh, let me see, like, a new product. They said they've been working on it. They've been in Clubhouse. Like, I want to see what's up. And I originally was following Kari, Sneaker Fetish, and I remember him tweeting out that Jazzaray had a space. And with Jazzaray, I'd seen her in the Reebok campaign and just a couple other things. I've seen her throughout stuff in sneakerhead community. So I was like, okay, bet. Familiar face, let me just see like what they're talking about. And it's as simple as people have a space, they're talking or whatever, there's a host, co-host, they're talking, and all you have to do is click request mic and you can be talking to whoever. Like Hypebeast hosts space sometimes. And I saw them the other day, Hypebeast had a space of like 7 people. And I was like, why are there only 7 people in here? But also that's a large opportunity because you can have up to 12 mics, which means all 7 of these people can chat with the people that are at Hypebeast. If you know what you're doing, that's an opportunity. That's a way to network and to platform yourself up. And so we had spaces with Nice Kicks. We've had spaces about Soul Savvy. We've had spaces with different people that are pillars throughout the sneaker community. And then they connect with other people in the sneaker community, and it literally just builds it out. And then Twitter is, I'm going to big up Twitter because high key, like without them, I'd still be just doing regular stuff. But they made communities after that. So basically, like how Facebook has groups or whatever, but they again improved on it. And so there was the soul food community that we were all in, and brought together a bunch of sneakerheads. It's like 1,000 people, 1,400 people in there, I think, at the last time I was in there. Yeah. And so it's like we were just chatting about sneakers all day. You didn't even have to talk about it on your timeline. It was just like a personal home to get to know people. And so it went from somebody that you would think is just posting a picture of their shoes and moving on to being like, oh, hi, like, yes, I post a picture of my shoes. I'm also the CEO of this company. I run this company. I'm a marketing manager for this person. And I want to know what your name is. And you're like, oh, okay, well, yeah. And so, right. Like, I think me and Gabby met at a birthday dinner, and I was just,
right before SneakerCon.
Right. I'm like, who is she? And they're like, oh, that's Gabby. She does this and this. And I was just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, you guys just told me this an hour later. But that's how quickly everything builds with spaces and with just all of the Twitter products. And so I'm currently no longer a part of the Kickback and Soul Food and stuff like that. Much love to them, though, because that was the first sneaker space on Twitter, one of the first major sneaker communities on Twitter, and it brought together a lot of people and a lot of connection, regardless to what sector you're coming from. If you love sneakers, it brought you into it. So, like I said, for anybody that's like, if you just want to sit and listen to podcasts, go to Twitter, listen to sneaker spaces. There's like 20 of them now. If you just want to sit and scroll through pictures, go on communities. There's Soul Food. I have an all women's community now. It's called Sneaky Girls and Company. Like, either way, there's stuff for you to just sit and to take in that content. And then all you have to do is be a decent person, and you'll get to know people that'll help you get to where you want to. If you're an asshole, of course, stuff is gonna. And I've met some assholes that are unfortunately a part of brands. There are a couple of people that I've blocked and been like, oh, you're the head of so and so. Like, so that's the other thing with Twitter. I don't think people realize that it's easy to find out who you are, because a lot of people hide behind like a sneaker profile picture and a sneaker name and stuff. It's easy to find out who you are. And there's just a lot of people that are lucky that transcripts haven't been sent to their boss and stuff yet. But it's all with the territory. It just,
Wow. I mean, look, and we I'm getting an education right now on Twitter Spaces and and being here.
Should we be doing a Twitter Spaces?
No, listen, I know that's what you think I want to say, but I'm not saying that.
The new TikTok, Jay.
The new TikTok. No, it's great though. I think this was really important. I think for people to hear, people who are jumping into, they're like, even if it's not sneakers, even though we are a sneaker podcast, whatever your interests are, because there's a million Twitter Spaces about that. Be mindful, right? Use that as a place where you can definitely meet people, be authentic, be yourself. Be a good person, right? It's not hard to be decent. It really isn't. Like, just be a decent person. Good things will happen to you. And you can use these places to network and meet different folks and connect. And you never know who you'll meet and run into. And next thing you know, you're hosting a sneaker show on Soul Collector. Like, things happen. You know what I mean? You never know.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
Man.
All right, folks.
Yeah.
Stay tuned, because coming up next, America's favorite segment, Shoe and Tell, presented by Another Lane. And I have a feeling JerLisa's got some nice heat for us to see. Just my feeling. I could be wrong, but I think I'm right. Anyway, guys, stay tuned.
You're right, too.
What's up, y'all? We are back. It is time for your favorite part of the day, America's favorite segment, Shoe and Tell, presented by Another Lane, the premier digital marketplace for dope kicks. I mean, I feel like every time we get on here, I tell you people about Another Lane. And I don't really know what else to say besides find yourself on the website and do what you got to do. Thank you very much. Now, listen, JerLisa, it's your show, man. Show us what you got. Tell us why it's important. You know, and we'll do our due.
Okay, so I feel like my audience is tired of them, but I don't care. I'm showing them every time I get to show my shoe off. This is the shoe. Without this shoe, I would not be a sneakerhead.
The one that started.
This is an actual taxi. Like, let's just so people are aware. Those are black letters in there.
Mm-hmm.
It's a taxi. But yeah, this is my baby. These I think I got these off eBay sneakers.
Okay.
So like
Okay.
maybe 10 years ago now. Jeez, it's probably been 10 years now. But yeah, I had my baby pair. I actually had, so I got to talk to my mom about this, but I remember I had the pair that came out in 96, and like around 4th or 5th grade, I had a pair again in my size. And I think my mom, like back in the day, pulled a double up or something, because I don't know where that pair came from in my size, but I did.
Right.
And I kept my taxis throughout my life until I was 19, and I still regret that, but whatever. Those two left, so we got this pair off eBay because I can't like be a sneakerhead and have the shoe that started me without always having a pair. These are currently beat, and I'm somewhere between like buy another pair and just let the shoe tell the story. I actually think I'm going to keep beating them. I'm going to let the shoe tell the story until they decide to redrop.
For sure.
I did grab the Royals that came out this year, and the QC issues were so bad that
Really?
I think I had it at home for 2 days, and I returned them to Foot Locker.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, not even sell them. Damn.
Yeah. No, they were bad. Like, it was like, look, y'all can have this. Whoever wants to take it. It's not it. Yeah. There was paint everywhere. There was white. There was glue everywhere. It was bad. It was bad.
Okay.
So no royalties, even though I wanted them. My next show off, speaking of bad QC issues, are unfortunately the Cardinal 3s. But I love them. Like, the 3 is my second favorite silhouette. I'm a 12s, 3s, and 7s girl.
Okay.
1s used to be my favorite silhouette. I don't like everybody wearing what I wear, so 1s had to go. But 3s are forever.
Yes, 3s are I love 3s.
Say it again, Gabby.
I said they're just so good though, but I get that. I don't like wearing the same stuff that everyone else is wearing either.
Yeah. No, I have a bunch. I just, like, I'm a closeted 1s are my favorite pair. Because it's so cliche to say now. Like, what's your top 3? Everyone's Jordan 1s. And I'm like, okay, guys, fine. You guys weren't there when everyone hated them.
Mm-hmm.
Right. But, yeah, so the Cardinal 3s are good. I don't know if you probably can't see, but whatever. These are unfinished. Like, that's not close.
Yeah.
So we wear them and we ignore the little things. But as I said, Jordan 1s are one of my secret favorites. And I'm always on Twitter hollering about like the shoes that people are going to regret not getting and that they needed to get. And this pair is men's only pair. I cried and whined all online about Nike only doing them in men's size, because even though it came down to my small size, it was like super hard to get. You can't get into a foot store with that or whatever. Didn't get it on the first. I didn't get it on any release, actually. Someone from Twitter, see, more fun. Someone from Twitter won for me. I was like asleep, and there was a shock drop, a Jordan Reserve, and they DM'd me and was like, hey, like, you've been tweeting about wanting this size 6 since before they came out. I got a size 6. These are for you. And I was like, okay, yes.
That's
I
dope.
wish your cash app, let me know. But I maintain that a lot of people in like 10 years are going to regret not owning these, and they are the handcrafted ones. Mine just came in yesterday.
Like them.
So many, Yeah, they're so good, and they've got these other laces in them. The tan. Like, there's so many outfits. I literally went to Forever. Oh, and white ones, black and white ones.
Yeah.
I went to Forever 21 just to find different like basic colored tank tops so I can wear these shoes whenever. So
I love it. Forever 21.
yeah,
That's hilarious.
these were big on my like. You guys must get these lists. You guys are gonna regret them. So I can't wait in 3 years to be on Twitter and be like, haha, you don't have them. And another. That's my thing. Really, after Crocs, like I'm all about wearing whatever I wear and telling everybody that they're gonna regret it from now on. I just can't go back and amend my beef with Crocs. You know,
It's all
whatever.
good. Listen, man, it's personal.
This is another.
Oh,
okay.
They're a must-have, and I know a lot of women are like, "Girl, shut up," but like, look, realistically, Jordan 1 lows look amazing on women because we throw on the anklets with them. Like, it's super cute, whatever. I'm a big proponent of a platform shoe. I'm also 5'3", so if you're like 5'8", this isn't. You decide on your own. See?
She said, "Not
but
me."
Me and my tininess, I love. They're so, and everyone was concerned about the midsole being like too thick. It's perfect, and when I say everyone, I was a part of everyone, but we're good. The midsole to upper range, perfect. It's a perfect shoe. We've got this freaking charm bracelet, and a lot of the girls that showed it off didn't show that like Nike gave us a full breakdown of the shoe and the insole and the tech. Right. Normally it's like you have to Google or go to Kicks on Fire for the tech and stuff. Like, no, the tech's in the tag, but mostly, I don't know if we're going to be able to see it. This freaking insole. That, like, out of this world. It's comfortable, the art on it. And my favorite part is that all of the men are like, I wish I had the insole, but you don't, babe. These are one of the shoes. They're not gonna wear platform. They're not wearing a Jordan 1 low. Like we finally have something that we can hold over the men in the big feet's head. Like, haha, look at my insole with Jordan on it. And so yeah, I love these a lot. I had a Twitter follower order the patent bred one, and they accidentally shipped him these instead. And so naturally, he's pissed. Right, he's pissed. And I was like, well, haha, don't know what to tell you. And when I got these, he was like, I'm not gonna lie, like he said he took the insoles out and tried to keep them and tried to put them in all of his other shoes. He's like, they didn't fit in that one pair of shoes. So it brings me joy to know that like men can't have it. I mean, you probably could, but like you're not gonna be comfortable. So
they have
love that. If nothing else, ladies, go get them because the men can't have them. And if you need a pair, there's a bunch in Dallas. Like DM me, I got you. I will go.
Look at that, making things happen out here.
You know, I'm all about the girl power and the helping. And then my last show off was another like, you guys are gonna regret this, but I think a lot of people will. I don't know. Resale value on this shoe tells me that it's a little up and down. The shoe released for $450. I got mine for $350. And they're around there still, but it is the Swarovski Air Force One.
Okay.
Yeah, we talked about those when they came out.
This shoe is like gorgeous. There's crystals all over.
All the crystals.
It comes with a little, and I think there's 4 panels that come off, so you can dang near customize the shoe yourself.
That's what I love about it.
And it comes with a cute little screw. Like the screw is it says Nike on it, and it has a swoosh, and then it has a Swarovski crystal right next to the Nike and the swoosh. So super dope shoe. The quality of it and the elements that come with it totally make it worth the price. And it's 100 under retail if you go on StockX and stuff like that. So, you know, quick little come up. But yeah, those are my new babies because I'm in a stage of like I have a lot of new shoes right now, and I'm trying to not not feel crazy with them. But those are my new
Smart.
babies, and then of course my original, my what started it all.
I like that. That's a nice representation. I like the Swarovski Air Force Ones to close it out, right? Little glitz, little bling. So when you wear
Right.
what would you wear with those? Because that's a very kind of like, that's a statement. I mean, all shoes are statement shoe, but that's a statement shoe.
Yeah, so I have a couple of outfits planned.
I don't want to break any news. If you're trying to keep it on, I don't want to. Okay.
I'm like, a wedding dress, something like that, because I would look great with that.
Right, you gotta go crazy. No, so I turned 30 this year, so summertime and those are gonna be like my thing. So
Mhm.
I'll share a couple of the ones that I want the girls to know. One, I feel like that's the perfect shoe for cutoff shorts, white tank top. Like,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to be giving the streets hell when it's hot enough, because that is it.
I love
We're giving
that.
us cutoff shorts, different tank tops, Swarovski. Like, I don't even need to really put on clothes, and you're lucky I put on the tank top and the shorts. That's outfit number one, because look at my shoes. So, you know, anybody out there, keep it simple. That's cute. I've actually been for 3 days at that, but whatever, being a woman. I've been on the hunt for, like, you know, the polo shirts, but they are like full dresses. And I want a very icy blue one, like a super light baby icy blue one. I found one, it was just like a half size too small. So we're this close, but you know, a cute little like sporty dress, and then you look down. I just really want the shoes to always be like, bam, like
I feel like those shoes
she
will
has
be
on this cute
bam.
outfit.
If you're wearing a cashback
Yeah.
dress, they'll still be like, bam.
Exactly. So those are my top two right now. I know that at some point they're gonna make an appearance at my birthday party, but then I would be giving you guys too much information. But you know, they're gonna also have their moment with a dress and a body and all of that. So
It's the at some point for me, which implies that there are multiple sneaker moments, which like respect. I love that.
I love that. No, that's incredible. Listen, JerLisa, it was great having you on. This was a great conversation. Tell the people where they can find you if they want to follow more of your work.
yeah, you can find me on Twitter first. Like that's the home. But all of my socials are at JerLisa_Nicole, and the L in Lisa is capital. So JER capital LISA, because people spell my name wild, but JER Lisa underscore Nicole, no H, because all week people have been asking me if I don't know what's in the stars, but yeah, Lisa has been spelled wrong, and they're like, is there an H in Nicole? And I'm like,
Huh?
what? So standard spellings of all. JerLisa_Nicole. That's on Twitter. That's on Instagram. On the Caffeine app, that is where you can find me sneaker hunting with Soul Collector. And come join me there. It's live. Like, it's like being on Instagram Live. You guys can comment and tell me, like, girl, no, that's ugly. And I'll swear to God, I'll pivot. So
I love that. That's ugly.
Girl, that's hilarious. So, I'm dead. Anyway, folks, and you know where to find us. We are part of the Counted Eggs family. Find us on that Bomb podcast feed with the original Bomb show, with Woke Bros, with Rap Names, with Crypto Bros, with Roost Kitchen, the Euphoria podcast. This is where you can find all these great shows. And of course, we are at Kicks and Shit Show on all social media platforms. And until next time, peace.
bye.